troops, and this should really get my economy rolling. It's always great if you can get an expansion at 2-on-2, because it's quite difficult to do. That poor medic is left behind. The Zerglings are going to be able to take her out, which is a bit sad. But I've still got 2 more medics ready to heal. Actually, no, that medic survived. Lucky medic. And at this point, I'm getting into factory mode because I'm just worried that our opponent Protoss player will be getting a lot of Dragoons at this point, and because our Zerg enemy will be taking up to something, either... Yeah, I've just spotted now, so those tanks are going to be really good. If spotted is going for Hydralisks, I'm just telling my opponent to get observers because I'm worried that I will be running out of scan sweeps if there are a lot of lurks coming in, and we really want to be putting a lot of pressure on our opponents at this point. And we won't be able to do that if they've got lurkers in defense, so observers are going to be a good idea. Putting down a starport now so that I can get science vessels as well, just to irradiate those defilers if eventually gets to them in hive tech, and take out the lurkers with the vessels. Just thought it would be a good idea. In hindsight, probably wasn't the most useful choice, but there you go. I mean, it's really good in games of StarCraft to just try and make decisions really quickly and get your resources spent. I mean, that's a priority which is higher up in the chain than actually spending your resources perfectly. It's always better just to spend everything in a crude way than it is just to think around and try and think of the perfect way to spend them and not actually spend everything in time. So, yeah, that's the reason why you sometimes see some funny plays from people and mistakes been made. It's really easy to make mistakes in StarCraft because it's a difficult game. Everything's happening very quickly and you've just got to think very fast. And unfortunately, we've just been under attack by some lurkers, so my my ally, has just had some lurkers crawl into his base, and he's got photon cannons there to defend, but the lurkers have actually run past them and will actually be able to do some significant damage, and the only person that's got detection is me. So this has actually turned into a really interesting situation. What we're going to actually have to do is get me to actually do the comsats, and oh my god, probes being taken out, and for him to actually attack the lurkers. But in the meantime, we're putting in an offensive here. I'm coming under attack by 2 armies at once, so my forces are holding off well, but they're not going to survive for too long with Dragoons and Hydralisks attacking me, so my attack there is going to fail, and unfortunately my ally is not looking too good. He's under lurkers and he's got no detection, so we're just having to do it here. I'm just telling him to go, and I'm going to come up. So this is teamwork here. Great teamwork here. Just scanning the lurker and moving in the zealots. But he's got another lurker actually taking him out down the left-hand side of the space. I'm just telling him to go. I've got the comsat ready for him to attack. So yeah, he's moving in, waiting for him to move in. Comsat goes off. Lurker spotted. So yeah, great teamwork for me and Pesti1ence there, taking out the lurkers from his base. So he's clean now. I've got another vessel there just waiting in case lurkers show up at my base. Got some tanks sieging up now, and really just laying it down. Unfortunately, ally is under attack here. Hopefully he can hold it off. They're attacking him right at the choke point, just unsieging and getting some troops ready to and group them up to attack, to help defend. And just worried that the blue player has just landed some lurkers in between my base and his cleverly. So I just put some vessels out just in case that happens. Vessel coming up now. What I'm just being told to do here is to counterattack the enemy. That's what my ally wanted me to do, so I'm just having a crack at it. He seemed to think it was the only way that we'll be able to win this game at this point. I'm not sure if he's correct about that, but looks like he's held off the enemy's attack well so far, so I'm just putting in a counter attack just to really take the pressure off our side and get our economy rolling. I've got an expansion up, and I'm not sure if our opponents do. Yeah, I've attacked at just at the right time, so this is actually quite lucky. I'm just rushing in and sieging up, and this is really fortunate that I can come in just as the blue Zerg player just built up his expansion and taking out those drones, so really fortunate that I attacked just at that point in time, so turned out to be a good idea attacking just then. Once they gather up some forces, they should be able to hold me off there, and this will actually give me a chance for my ally to actually get back in the game a bit with some troops. And he's lost a lot of probes, unfortunately. He's only just bringing them back now. So yeah, just time is of the essence. Really got to put some pressure on and keep things going. I had to scan for another lurker, and here we go with both combined forces from the opposition just taking out my little offensive there, but luckily I've been able to delay that natural expansion from the Zergs a bit. Meanwhile, building up some forces, got another factory going down, up to 3 factories. Really, because he's building lurkers as well as the other opponent building dragoons, tanks are really the best unit at this point. He's still under attack by lurkers, so I'm telling him go, scan sweeping, just using a bit more teamwork to get things happening there. Unfortunately, my science vessels, oh my god, ran into a group of dragoons now. That's just unlucky. So they'll get taken out. I think my plan was there to just move the vessel down to my allies' base just to make it a lot easier to stop the lurkers from attacking him if there were any more. I just didn't notice it. Having to play quite quickly, I'm not entirely aware of what's going on in my allies' base at this point. Can only just check it out every so often. It looks like he's okay. He's not got a lot of troops, but he's got an opportunity to rebuild them so long as we can keep the pressure off us for a while. I've got a decent-sized army here, so enough for me to hold off anything that's going to attack my base, but just looking out to see if anything's going on. And again, I just became a little bit fortunate here, moving out at just the right time. Noticed those lurkers are morphing, and this gives me an opportunity to get rid of the Zerglings and get in a position where I can actually attack the lurkers. So bringing my forces now, unfortunately those tanks are sieged and they can't back up my Marines. Marines attacking the Zerglings at, yeah, not the best. And unfortunately those siege tanks are blocking the entrance, not so good. You've got to unsiege them, move them out. Marines taking out the Zerglings just in time. There's only 2 lurkers, but now the dragoons coming in, so they're sieging up the tanks, killing the lurkers, and those tanks are going to have to do their best at holding off these dragoons. But luckily I did go for tanks because, yeah, getting a third factory shot down and a 4th factory. Oh my god, managed to hold off this combined attack all by myself, and luckily they attacked sort of one after another, and I managed to sort of commit to that. My reinforcements arriving just in time for my ally, and it looks like we're in good shape to move out and put some pressure on. He's managed to build up some troops, and hopefully he'll be getting some observers soon, because I'm just worried that I'll lose my vessels to dragoons, and we won't be able to scout the lurkers. So now just putting an attack on the top left hand side base. This is turning into be a really interesting 2-on-2 game. Once again, this is Wuthering Heights, so if you're not too familiar with the map layout, there's a group, there's some ramps in the middle, there's a lot of open terrain, and there's a couple of double gas expansions towards the middle, and a lot of choke points around your base, as you can see, and nice tile set. And finally we're actually attacking here, putting in some attacks, and he's got a lot of Zerglings, so just rushing back with the tanks, and really got to save them because I know those enemy dragoons are going to show up anytime. And finally putting an attack in. Reinforcements arriving. Really got to keep your armies together. It's really important in stages of the game like this. Getting in a position where I can siege up with my tanks and attack those lurkers from range, just bunch all the groups up like that. We're expecting some dragoons to show up any moment now. Yeah, looks like they're yeah, here they are. So only 2 tanks to actually take them out, and we're going to have to rely on those zealots that my ally has brought in just to get rid of those, at least stave off the dragoons, and that's actually a nice combination. I really like that. Zealots and tanks against dragoons, because the zealots keep the dragoons back, they've got to retreat, and my tanks can blast them, so really effective combination there. I've got some vultures coming out now, and I want to actually start getting some mines happening, because mines are really great in 2-on-2 because you can put mines in the area where you expect your opponent to actually reinforce his ally, and if you can use mines strategically like that, it's really effective. So now just unsieging the tank, I've got a defensive matrix on one of them, and just moving in to put some pressure on that natural expansion, grouping up some more reinforcements, and yeah, just a lot of pressure on both sides at this point. We're doing really well to actually get the tanks in there, and this is really going to help us win. If our